Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Remember, no laptop or phone. So please close all of your laptop, put here your phones. Okay, so did you guys are you guys able to log into my MATLAB? Is there anybody who needs help with my MATLAB? No. Yesterday night I remember. Oh, I forgot to show you if you're taking this class for the first time. How do you buy my MATLAB access? I forgot to show you that. So, to buy my MATLAB, you go to our Brightspace, and then under announcement page on the right side, there is directions of how do you buy my MATLAB if you're buying for the first time. Okay, so just follow through those directions, and then you'll be able to get the access for my MATLAB. And if you face any problem, feel free to email me. Do you have any question from the last night's homework? Okay, let's go over that. So y equals 1. Really? Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, my pen is not working. Let's try the other one. Y equals 0.5? 1.5 plus 4. And what you're going to do with this? What's the direction? Okay, so to graph, we just need 2 points. Let's say we have x and y is negative 1.5x plus 4. Since 1.5 is a decimal, so try to pick a number by which if you multiply 1.5, it will become a whole number. For example, 2. First, we can put x equals 0, so we get y equals negative 1.5 times 0 plus 4. That gives us 0 plus 4, which is simply 4. So the point you get from here is 0, 4. Then you can pick another point, for example, 2. If you multiply 1.5 by 2, it will turn into 3. For a graph, unless they mention x and y, you can use x and y, or you can use any 2 points. Okay, so if you pick 2, y is negative 1.5 times 2 plus 4. 1.5 times 2 becomes 3. So negative 3 plus 4, that gives us 1. So 2, 1. And then to graph, when x is 0, y is 1, 2, 3, 4. When x is 1, 2, y is 1. So something like this. Great. Any other question from any other homework?
There is two lines in that do not intersect are called parallel lines. And draw a line parallel to the line y equal -1 that intersects with the y-axis of 0, 2.
So y equals -1. There's no x, right? Only -1.
Yes.
And that intersect with the point
0, 2.
0, 2. And you're drawing parallel lines.
What is the equation of this line?
Okay, so parallel line. So y equals -1 is a horizontal line. This is -1. So to draw this line, you just have to draw a line across y equals -1. And then the point they gave us is 0, 2. So this is 0, 1, 2. So how can you draw a line that is parallel to this line but goes through this point? What type of line you're going to draw? Another horizontal line. So you need another line that goes left and right to the point 0, 2. So what's the equation of this line? Y equals 2. Because this goes through the y value 2. Okay. So if they want you to draw the graph, you just plot the points and then connect. You can plot one point here and another point somewhere, anywhere here or there, and then select your line to connect the 2 points. And if they ask you to find the equation, this is the equation of the line. And how about the slope? What's the slope of this line? 0. Slope of any horizontal line is 0. So slope of this line is 0, as well as this line also has slope 0.
So anything vertical also 0? This is also
Any horizontal line.
horizontal.
Any horizontal line has slope 0. And any vertical line has slope what? Undefined. So these are the two special cases. Horizontal line has slope 0. Vertical line has slope undefined. Besides these two lines, every other lines, they have some type of slope, either positive slope or negative slope. Great, good questions. Any other questions from the homework? It looks like what? 3 equals 2x plus y. So we can subtract 2x from both sides. Then it turns into y equals negative 2x plus 3. Right? 3 minus 2x is same as negative 2x plus 3. Now for this line, you're drawing or you're finding what? Slope. Which one? If you're finding the slope is the number in front of x. So if they said, what's the slope of this line? All you have to do is tell them this number. And if they want you to graph then you can plot 2 points, or you can just find everything y-intercept. To find x-intercept, you can look at this one for y is 0, and then you solve for x, so you will separate 2, it's 1.5. To find the y-intercept, this thing is 0, so you have y equals 3. So if they want you to find the equation of find the draw the line, you can use x and y intercept. But if they want you to find the slope of the line, you need to convert into y equals mx plus b format. Any other question? You do. It's more than $100 if you buy it for 24-month access. Sometimes I feel like it's like they all have connection. You give me more students, I'll give you some discounts, something like that. So Baruch requires all the math students, algebra students, and pre-calculus to buy my MATLAB access, and it's so much expensive, but it's a requirement. So we have no power to control that. Okay. Anyway, any other questions from the homework or quizzes, or from yesterday's material? No. So this is the last question we did last class. Do you remember what's the slope formula? I2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what do we have here? Y2 minus y1. What minus what? Go ahead, Jason. Maria. One. And how about the access? 3 minus 3. So yesterday must have made the mistake. It's not 2 minus, it's 3 minus negative 3. This minus is from the formula, but when you are subtracting, this quantity has a negative itself. So that's why it's double negative, not one negative. Okay, so negative 1, negative 2. And what do you have in the denominator? 6. Negative 3. Is the answer negative 3? No. Anytime a denominator is bigger than numerator, your answer has to be a fraction because denominator is big. So if you can't remember, do it this way, division. Visualize it so that you can see what's the answer. So 2 divided by 2 becomes 1 on the numerator, and then 6 divided by 2 becomes 3 on the denominator. The negative sign you can put on the top, on the bottom, or in the front. It doesn't matter. You can put it anywhere. Okay, the answer is not 3, not negative 3, it's negative 1/3.
So we always have to simplify it.
Always. Anytime you have a number that is simplificable, you must simplify. Okay, the next one was interesting also. So, what minus what? 5 minus 5 on the numerator. And what minus what on the denominator? 3 minus negative 2. And what is 5 minus 5? 0. And what do you want the denominator? 5. If you leave it alone, you're going to lose points in the exam. You must simplify. What is 0 divided by 5? 0. So which type of line has 0 slope? Horizontal line. So the 2 points we have, they are taken from a horizontal line. And you can actually visualize it. We have negative 2, 5. So negative 2, let's say 5 is here. And then 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 is here. See? It's a horizontal line. So obviously, slope has to be 0. One straight line. Any question? Okay, so we know when we have 0 on the top and any number on the bottom, the answer is 0. How about the other way around? If we have number on the top but 0 on the bottom, undefined, it doesn't exist. And it's because they are telling you you have a number, divide the number into 0 pieces. Can you divide anything into 0 pieces in real life? Is it possible? No. If you have a pen, you have a pen. You cannot divide into 0 pieces. You can divide into 2 pieces, 4 pieces, many pieces, but not into 0 pieces. So it's not possible. That's why it doesn't exist. On the other hand, the top one says you have 0, means you have nothing. Now divide your nothing into many pieces. What do you have? Still nothing, right? You started with nothing. And if you divide your nothing into a million pieces, what do you have? Still nothing. So that's why 0, you can divide by a number. Because you have nothing, you're dividing into many pieces. It's possible, you still have nothing. But dividing a number into 0 pieces is impossible. So it's undefined, it doesn't exist. Okay, so yesterday I gave you 2 finalism questions. Do you remember? One was find the slope from standard format of the line, and another one was standard format or 2 points. And the other was find x-intercept, y-intercept graph. Actually, I gave you 3 questions yesterday. 3 finalism questions. Now comes the next finalism question.
And similar to this.
Very similar. Okay, so here it says a secant line is a line connecting 2 points on a curve. So first they are giving you information. A secant line. What's a secant line? It's a line that connects 2 points in a curve. For example, let's say you have a curve, something like this. Now a secant line is a line that goes through any 2 points of the curve. This is secant line. Now they are telling us that, hey, I'm giving you a curve, y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1, which is a parabola. Now find the slope of this secant line, this line, if you have one of the x value is 2 and the other x value, let me put it a little bit lower. If one of these x value is 2 and the other x value is 3. So what is the slope of the secant line if it goes through the 2x value, 2 and 3? Is the scenario clear? They give you a curve, they give you 2 points, they're asking you to find the slope that goes to the 2 points of the line. You're half correct. What's the slope formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. They gave us x values, only x values, right? So x values are 3 and 2, so we have 1 on the bottom. So it's half done. What happened to the numerator? They did not give us the y value. So how can we find y values?
Plug into.
Good job. They gave us the x values and they gave us the formula. So they're telling us our y is x plus 2x plus 4. And they told us our x1 is 2. So that into the formula. So x squared plus 2x plus 1 turns into 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 1. If you know your x value, how can you find your y value of a graph? Substitute. So I'm just substituting it. Your x is 2 because they're telling us our first number is 2. So for this x, what is the y value? Substitute x to 2. So we have 2 squared plus 2 times 2. Oh, the smaller number, I want to do the smaller number first. The order doesn't matter. So how much is our y1? What is 2 squared? 4. And what is 2 times 2? 4. So what do you have? 9. So if x1 is 2, y1 is 9. So this y1 is 9. Minus is from the formula, and our y1 is 9. The only thing we need now is y2. They gave us our x2 is 3. So our y2 is 3 squared 2 times 3 plus 1. 16? Okay. 3 squared is 9, 6, and 1. Yep, it is 16. So x2 is 3, y2 is 16. So see, this y2 is 16. See how smart we are? They didn't give us the y, but we figured out the y. So anytime some informations are given, there is a trick to find the missing pieces. They gave us x, we substitute each of them into the function to get the individual y. Why do you care about the y? Because our slope formula requires to get both y's, including both x's. So now all you have to do is figure out the numerator. What is 16 minus 9? 7. And what is 7 divided by 1? 7. So the slope of this second line is 7. Who is confused? Anyone? Anybody confused? No? Then you go ahead, try this one. Same y, but find the slope of the second line that goes to x value 1 and 4. So you have the same y. Y is x squared plus 2x plus 1.
Oh, oh.
No. One square. What is one square? What is one square? One times one. What's with this? Everybody tiny in the sign sheet, no, right? Okay. So since our slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we have the denominator 4 minus 1, but we do not have the numerator. So we find y1. Our x1 is 1, so 1 square, 2 times 1 plus 1. Common mistake, what is 1 square? 1, not 2. So from here we get 4, not 5. Y2 is 4 squared, 2 times 4 plus 1. And 4 squared is 16. 2 times 4, 8. So we have 16 plus 8, 24 plus 1, 25. So numerator is 25 minus 4. That gives us 21. But you cannot stop here. Remember I said, anytime you can simplify, you must simplify. So 3 goes to 21 how many times? 7. So answer is 7. Any questions from anyone? Okay. Oh, I didn't show you that. Oh, okay. So now we are finding the slope not from 2 points, but from a line. How do you identify slope from a given line? So in order to find the slope, We want to convert the line into a format where the slope is given. Remember yesterday I showed you three formats. One is standard, one is slope intercept, one is point slope. Do you remember from yesterday? Three formats? So from the three, you are not even here. So three formats. One is y equals mx plus b. Another one was y equal, ax plus by equals c. Here we don't see the slope, so this method is useless for slope. Here we see the slope, so this format is the best. And the other format we use when you're trying to find the equation of a line. So to find x and y intercept, use the standard form. To find the slope, use the point slope intercept form. So we are given a standard form, we don't see the slope, so we are helpless here. In order to find the slope, we need to rewrite the equation in this format, y equals mx plus b, because this m is what you're looking for. The other equation requires a point. We are not given any point here, we're just given standard form. The other one was y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. So see, we have to have a point in order to write this format. But here we don't have a point, we have the standard form. And they're asking, hey, from the standard form, figure out your slope. So this method is useless because you don't have any point. So most important or useful format is slope intercept. In other words, solve for y. Get the y alone in one side and everything else on the other side. So goal is to have this alone. What is your first step? Which one you get to do first? To get the y alone. Before that, you have to do something else. We always start with something that is far from what we have. So from y, even if it's the farther than x. So we have to get to the far one. So subtract, let me change the color. Subtract 11x from both sides. So we have negative 8y equals negative 11x plus 80. How do I know 80 is a plus sign? If you don't see a minus, it automatically means a plus number. So it's negative 8, it's plus 80, and I got the x term first because of the format. This format has x term first and then the number. So I need to keep my format. Is our y alone now? Not yet. The problem is negative 8. So how can you get your negative 8? Divide. Not adding, dividing by negative 8. Divide by negative 8. Every term, do it individually because we are looking for the number in front of the x. This is what you're looking for. So negative 8 cancel out. We have y equals, what happens to the negative on the top, negative on the bottom? Turn into positive, they cancel out. And we have this. And how about positive 80 divided by negative 10? Negative 10. I give it answer. So it converted this line into this line. Now do you see the slope? What's the slope of this line? 11 over 8. Not x, only the number. This is our slope. 11/8. And this one is also asking for intercepts. Means find the x-intercept and y-intercept. So if 11/8 is the slope, what is -10? Y-intercept. So when you turn this into, let me change the color, into slope-intercept form, we get the y-intercept bonus. Our y-intercept is y equals -10. So we found slope is 11/8, y-intercept. Well, how do you write it as a point format? 0, -10. And now the only thing we need is the x-intercept. From yesterday, do you remember how do you find x-intercept? Set y to be 0. Set y to be 0.
Yeah.
So you can use the original format or this format, it doesn't matter. I prefer this one because this one is neat, no fraction, nothing. So from here, we can easily find the y-intercept. So x-intercept. To find x-intercept, we are going to finish our y term. So we have 11x minus 8y equals 80. No more y because we are setting y to be 0. When y is 0, the entire y term gets erased. So we have 11x is 80. To solve for x, what do we do? By 11. Can you divide 80 by 11 evenly? So we leave it alone. How about the point format? How do you write this in a point format? No. Write x-intercept as a point. Here we wrote the y-intercept as a point, write x-intercept as a point. (80/11) is the x, and our y is the 0. In the final exam, they require to write point format. To find the x-intercept, we set y to be 0 and we solve for x. We learned that yesterday. Anytime you're finding some intercept, the other one must be 0. So you're finding x-intercept means no more y term. So you erase your y term and then you solve for x. You can also find y-intercept from here. To find the y-intercept, you erase your x term, you get -8y equals 80, divided by -8, y is -10. But we didn't have to do that because we already found our -10 here. Okay, so in the exam, in the final exam, we have to graph. But since we have a fraction here, so our graph will not be accurate, it will be an estimate. 11 goes to 80 how many times?
9.
At least 9 times, no, not 9. 9 times 11 is 99. 9 times 8 times 11 is 88. So maximum it goes how many times? 7 times. 11 times 7 is 77. So this is something like 7 point something. So we have whole number 7 definitely. So when you graph, if this is 7 and this is 8, it's somewhere here between 7 and 8. And our y-intercept is -10. Let's say this is -10, somewhere here. And then you connect with a straight line. So -10 is a whole number. We can graph it, but the fraction is not whole number, so you have to estimate. And since you're not allowed to use calculator, so you actually have to estimate, not the actual number. Just make a guess. It's between 7 and 8, somewhere. Question? But for your homework, they require it to be exact. So you can use calculator for the homework. But in the exam, you cannot. Okay, any questions from anyone? Another finalizing question. Okay, now you try one. Find x-intercept, y-intercept, slope, and graph. You don't have to work alone. You can talk with your neighbors. Did everybody signing? Okay. Juliana, K, Kathy, Exona, Maria, Kayla, Mariam, Eliza. Is it June or John? John, okay. John. Brendan. Sam? Go ahead. How to simplify? Did you solve for y? Did you solve for y? When you solve for y, then you have to simplify. Because you're dividing by a whole number, right? You're dividing by 2. So you're dividing by 6, -6. You have to simplify. Matthew, Angel, Martin, Sam, Mauritius, Christopher, Da, Axel, Thank you.
Oh, yeah, this one. Thank you.
You can add these all like
Oh, simplify it down. Thanks.
Which one is bigger? You want to try now, so not for those lines. Why? That's a really hard. Why?
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
So we need to.
Yeah.
Give us 6 crops and lines and all. You are nuts. You're dividing. So 10 is 6, you're not going to open up. So you can reduce that one in the to divide that. The access product is you will see by it's for one it's between negative 1 you can move it, check out.
Yes.
No, and here's the same problem. Choose the top 6 at the bottom. Which one is bigger? So, the bigger at the bottom is yes. Yeah. You need to just what's your exercise? If the denominator is bigger, how can you end up with a whole number? So on some level, on one x. Now simplify it but you also wrong.
Oh, God.
Dividing both of them by 2. That's pretty much
0, negative.
I don't see anyone that was all you need to understand. These 2, only 2, but dividing into 6 pieces. So will you get a whole number or you get that? So for x, it's going to be opposite. So here x, one what's 10 divided by 2? Would it be a big which one is limited so you have something in my list. This is one to x, not only one to x. This one. So this one is excellent. Python has a negative sign, right? We live in negative. If our slope is positive, perfect. Okay, let's do that together. Our goal is to isolate y so that we can see the slope. So what is our first step? What do we do? If you want to get the y alone, what is our first step? Subtract 2x from both sides. We get negative 6y is negative 2x plus 10. Divide by negative 6. So we have y equals, now negative, they cancel out. And I saw the same common mistake. You guys wrote the answer is 3. It cannot be 3 because if you have only 2 things and you are dividing them into 6 pieces, you cannot get a whole number. You get a fraction of something. So answer has to be fraction, not a whole number. So it's 1/3 x. And same thing here. Both of them are divisible by 2. So it's minus 5/3. That tells us what we are looking for. What's the slope? 1/3. What's the y-intercept? Slope is 1/3. Now to find the x-intercept, let me do it here. We don't need the y, so we simply write 2x equals 10 from the original equation. We need to divide by 2, so that gives us x is 5. But we need point, so it's 50. Anytime it's divisible by any number, you have to reduce. For example, here, 2 and 6, they both are even numbers. That means we have to reduce. 10 and 6, they both are even numbers. You must reduce. Every even numbers are always divisible by 2. So you must reduce the even numbers. And for other cases, you just write redo timetable. For example, here, 11 doesn't have, in its timetable, doesn't have any 80. It has 77 and 88, 90, so it's not reducible. So for other cases, you use timetable, and for every even numbers, always divisible by 2. Now to graph, x is 5 here, and y is negative 5/3. So 3 goes to 5 how many times? At least how many times? Sorry, at most how many times? 1. So it's negative 1 point something. That means it's between negative 1 and negative 2 somewhere. Oops. It's the y, my bad. If this is negative 1 and this is negative 2, it's somewhere between negative 1 and negative 2. Negative 5/3. We don't know exactly how much. So we're estimating x-intercept is 5, y-intercept is between negative 1 and negative 2. You connect them with a straight line. See, it's a line going up, so slope is positive. Look our slope. It is a positive sign. And in here, same thing. We have an increasing line. So our slope we found, what was the slope? 11.8, positive. Question? Hmm? 1/3. We have negative 2 divided by negative 6. Negative cancel out. We have 2/6. Now both 2 and 6 are divisible by which number? You can divide both 2 and 6 by which number? 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1 on the top, and 6 divided by 2 is 3 on the bottom. Anytime your denominator is bigger than numerator, you cannot have a whole number in your answer. It has to be fraction. Okay, so we learned how to graph a line using 2 points, using x and y intercept. And now the last method, how do you find line using our slope and y-intercept. So if you have an equation given already in the slope-intercept form, you don't have to do any math to graph. All you have to do is look at your slope and the y-intercept, and you can easily graph it. How? You're going to start with y-intercept. First, we're going to plot the y-intercept on the y-axis, and then you're going to walk the slope. So remember, slope is changing y over changing x, right? So it's y over x. That means for the slope, whatever number we have on the numerator, we go either up if the number is positive, or we go down if the number is negative. And the denominator is x, changing the x. So we go either left if the number is negative, or we go right if the number is positive. That's how we work our slope. The numerator tells us to go up or down based on the sign. Denominator tells us to go left or right based on the sign. So based on the sign, we can work our slope from the y-intercept. So in this equation, we have y equals negative 3x minus 2. We want to have a fraction for our slope. What is our slope in this equation? Negative 3. But we can turn this into a fraction by putting 1. So we have y-intercept. What is our y-intercept here? Negative 2. This is the y-intercept. And this is the slope. So you start from y-intercept negative 2. You plot your first point, negative 2. Now from this negative 2, we are going negative 3. Which direction? The top number tells us to go which direction? Down 3, because we have a minus in the numerator. If the numerator is a minus, we are going to go down from the y-intercept. So we are going down 3. And then from there, we are going 1 unit which direction? Not up. The denominator tells us to go which direction?
All right.
If it's plus, then it's right. If it's minus, then left. So this one, is it plus or minus? Plus. So you're going to go right. So from this y-intercept, go 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. So 1, 2, 3 down. And then from that position, go 1 unit to the right here. Anytime you have a whole number, the denominator one is always positive. So we found 2 points. Now we can just connect them. It doesn't work. Come on. I don't know. Why is not working today? Okay, so just connect them. This is the line we have. So you have to remember this. The numerator is the y, because look at the slope. Slope tells us the numerator is y, denominator is x. And y means y-axis. So either you're going straight up or straight down. And x means the x-axis. So either you're going to the left or you're going to the right. So up, down, and then left, right.
And isn't having the negative on above on y affect x?
So we were given our slope was -3. So what I did, I put -3/1, so negative went to the numerator. But let's say you don't want to do that. You want to say, well, I want my slope to be 3 on the top and -1 on the bottom. -3, -3/1, and 3/-1, they all are same thing. All three things are the same. The position of the negative doesn't matter. It could be in the front, could be in the numerator, could be in the denominator. It's your choice where do you want to put it. In the front, on the top, on the bottom. So here I put it on the top, so we are going down 3 loops. But let's say you want to do that, you have to put negative on the bottom. Now observe how you're going to work now. Our numerator is positive this time. So if numerator is positive, which direction you go? Up. So we are going up 3. And this time our denominator is minus. Minus means which direction? Left. So we are going 1 left. So you start your journey from your y-intercept. You go 3 units up. 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. You end up being here. And then from this one, you go 1 unit to the left. So I actually have to do a big jump. My line is not accurate. Oh, let me just erase. So you go 1 unit to the left and you stop here. Let me give you a line. Either you can go downward or you can go upwards. If you go up, then you have to go left because you have a minus. If you go down, then you have to go right because you have your minus you used to go down. So use your minus here and you use your minus here. So you're using minus only once, not twice. Minus on the top is down, minus on the bottom is left. So if your slope has a minus, either you are going down or you're going left. If you go down, that means you have to go right. But if you go left, that means you have to go up. So these are actually connected. If your slope is a minus, if your slope has a minus sign. If it's only plus, then you're going up, right, or down, left, down, left. You try one. Here. Graph this line using slope and y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1. So, 0 plus 1. So, there was a slope. What is the slope? Now, when you're nothing here, down. So, negative on the top is Going down 1, the denominator is positive. To go right. Plus on the bottom is right. Plus on the top is up.
So it means I go 1 down and 1 positive.
To that. See, here's your start. And you can walk more. 1 down. You can walk more.
1 down and 1 up.
On that.
So if it is negative 3.
So in the axis, y is positive here, right? So it will be up from the 0. And negative y is here. So from 0, negative down. So this is the y. It is negative, we are going down. It's positive, we are going up. And this is the x. This is the negative x, right? So if the negative, we are going to the right. So here, positive, positive x. It's positive, now we are going right. So here we have negative y positive x. From here to the down, and then positive x, so to the right. Positive the right side.
Negative 1 down and this is got it.
So what is our slope here? Negative 1 over 1. So negative 1 means which direction we are going?
Down.
Down 1. And positive 1 on the denominator. Right. If you're confused, connect them with the axis. In the y-axis, this is our positive y. So from 0, you go upward. This is our negative y. So if you have negative, you are going downward from 0. Same thing here. This is our positive x. So if you have x positive, you are going on the right. If you have negative x, you are going on the left side. So first we start with the intercept. 1, 2, 3. We have y-intercept 3, so we start our journey from 3. From this y-intercept, we go 1 down and then 1 right. So you stop here. If you want, you can walk more. 1 down, 1 right, you stop here. You can walk more. 1 down, 1 right, you stop here. You can take as many points as you need, but only 2 points are fine. And then you connect all of them with a straight line. Or if you want, you can walk the other direction. For example, if I say no, I want my denominator to have the negative. Means I have positive 1 on the top. 1 -1 on the bottom. Positive on the top, which direction? In the bottom, which direction is supposed to go? Left. So it means from our y-intercept, we go 1 up, 1 left. We stop here. You can go 1 up, 1 left, stop here. So both direction works. Even if you don't have space on the downside, you can walk upward. If you don't have space on the upside, then you can walk downside. Like it's all up to you. Any question on this one? Okay. So we learned graphing lines by using x and y intercept, by plotting 2 points, and then from using slope and y-intercept, right? We learned all 3 methods. Now you're going backward. What if the line is given? We have to find the equation from the graph. For example, here. The line is given. Our job is to find the equation of the line in 2 formats. First in slope intercept format, and then in standard format. So what is slope intercept format? What's the format for that? Y equals mx plus b. And what's the standard format? Ax plus by equals c. So they want us to write the equation of this line in both formats. Which one is easier to find or to write? Slope intercept or the standard form from this line? Slope intercept, obviously. So let's find the equation. Y equals something x plus something. What is our y-intercept here in this line? 2, 1, 2. So we have 2 here. So we need to know what is and what is this. What is this? Oh. So we found our y-intercept easily. John? -1, 3. -1, 3. How did you find that? So from this point, what did you go? Down 1. 1, 2, 3. And we found our next one. Great. To find the slope, all you have to do is walk from 1 point to the nearest point. So from this point, this nearest point has a whole number. This one doesn't have a whole number for y. This one doesn't have a whole number for y. So these 2 points are bad. Go to the next point that crosses the corner of your grid. So from the y-intercept to go to that, we go 1 down and then 1, 2, 3, right. 1 down means -1, and 3 to the right means +3. So we found our slope intercept format easily without doing any math. Who is confused? Anyone? Tell me which part was confusing.
So we can take any point on
Any point that goes to the corner of the grid. For example, you cannot pick this point. It doesn't go corner of the grid, so it's a bad point. You cannot pick this point. But how about this one? Can you pick this point? Yes, it goes corner, touching the corner. So take any point that touches the corner. It doesn't have to be closest, it can be farthest, no problem. If you pick something that is reducible, then you must reduce.
So what are we gonna pick the other?
Okay, no problem, let's pick that. From here, you're going here. So which direction you're going to go? First, you have to go up 1 unit, right? Up 1 means +1. right? And then how many, which direction? You're going left. 1, 2, 3 units. Going left means which sign? Negative. So positive 1 over negative 3. What do you have? Negative 1/3. Do you have the same thing? So it doesn't matter which direction you go, you'll end up getting the same slope. Question, John?
To ask, standard for what do A and B?
So observe the structure. In standard form, x and y term together, right? Next to one another. Do we have our x and y next to one another? So all you have to do is bring the x from the right side to the left side. So to get the standard form, we start from the slope intercept form. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. We want x and y next to one another. So we need to add this amount. So x moves from the right to the left. We get 1/3 x plus y equals 2. This is standard form. But it looks kind of weird, right? Because you get fraction. So usually in the standard form, we don't have fraction. So what can we do so that we have to see the 3 on the denominator? Any trick, you know? Divide? If you divide by 3, you still have 3. Multiply. Because see, 3 is on the denominator. If you divide, you have another 3 on the denominator. It doesn't help us. So opposite of division is multiplication. So you have to multiply with 3. But you cannot just multiply one term. You have to multiply every term. So multiply this term by 3, this term by 3, this term by 3. Multiply every term by 3. So we are going to have no more denominator. We have 1x plus 3y equals how much? 6. And now it looks nicer.
Will we lose points if we don't simplify fraction out of step form as a coefficient form?
I will tell you in the direction that no fraction, no negative x. That means you have to follow. We have to get in x to be positive, and there will be no fraction. Here x is already positive. When x is negative, multiply everything by a negative. The negative will turn into positive. So in standard form, usually we don't have negative x and fraction, no fraction. Usually. But if you do have them, it's not wrong. It just doesn't look right. It's like wearing your t-shirt upside down. You can do that, right? But just not normal. Any question? So we are done at 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. 3 sections are done. Now we are going to do 3.5. So for tonight, the homework is 3.4. And let's see how much you can finish from 3.5. No, we cannot finish it. So for tonight, your homework is 3.4. For Friday, not Thursday, we have homework 3.5. But what I did for the first homework was, for the first set of homework, I set the deadline next Monday because many people are still buying them. So I gave 1 week time. Okay. After that, I'm going to assign them every night. So whatever you're doing, the homework do tonight, and along with the previous. Okay, 2.5. So now we have all the knowledge. How to find slope, how do you find x-intercept, y-intercept, all of them. Now you want to know, well, how do you find equation based on the given information? For example, here, they gave us a line, we found the equation. Now we have many scenarios here. They'll give you 2 points and they'll ask you what's the equation of the line. They'll give you 1 point, a slope, they'll ask you what's the equation of the line. Or they'll ask you what's the equation of the parallel line, what's the equation of the perpendicular line. So you're going to learn all of this in this section. The first scenario, what's the equation of the line that goes through 2 points? Okay, and we have to answer in standard form. And if you observe, we have multiple choice here. None of the multiple choice has x negative or any fraction. Okay, so it's not bad. To find the equation, first we need the slope. Definitely the slope, right? So we find the slope using the slope formula. Once you know your slope, now you can plot the slope and 1 point from the 2 points in this format, and then just rearrange into standard form. That's it. Only 2 main steps. Find the slope using slope formula, replace the slope and 1 point in this format, and then rearrange them.
Those two coordinate points. 8, -3 is second, right? That's
8 is x1, -3 is y1. -7 is x2, 2 is y2. So you can pick one of them, either this pair or this pair, and then replace here.
how do you know that 8, -3 is first coordinate?
You decide.
You?
It's up to you.
Oh, so it really doesn't matter. Oh,
But the main thing is, whatever you pick here, you have to pick the entire thing. If you pick x from here, you have to get the y from here. You cannot pick x here and y here. You have to pick one here and substitute here.
And you do, you substitute for y2 for y1.
So step 1, find the slope. Slope. What's the slope formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what minus what? So 2 minus -3 -7 minus 8. Perfect. So we have 2 plus 3, 5 over -15. Is it reducible?
yes.
It becomes 1 over -3.
The 1 is by 1 point. What was y?
Y and x you cannot replace.
Oh, you can't.
See, look at the choices. X and Y, they all have x and y. So you don't replace x and y, but you replace everything else. Y1, slope, x1. So y minus y1, slope x minus x1. We need to replace this, this, and this. So which pair you'd like to use, the first one or the second one? It really doesn't matter. Y minus what? 8. Okay, so we are using this pair. Y minus y1. -3. Our slope is 1 over -3. And then our x1 will be 8. So we have double negative here. So we get y plus 3. And then -3, x minus 8. Before going any further, what do we hate here the most? The 3 on the bottom, right? We don't like fraction. So what can you do so your 3 from the bottom will disappear? Multiply. And you cannot multiply only one side, right? You have to multiply this side and this side, both sides. So when you multiply this side, we have 3 here, 3 here. And when you multiply this side, you have 3 here. Now multiply both of them by 3 here, and only 1 3 here, because this thing is in term. All of them gives us only 1 term. The 3 cancel out. Now we are happy. We have 3y plus 9 equals negative x minus 8. What do you think our next step is? Eliza. So 5 plus 9 standard form. So we don't want the 9 on the left, so we subtract. So let's do it here. We have 3y equals negative x. And how much is plus 8 minus 9? Negative 1. Now we have one more thing to fulfill the requirement of standard form. What is our last step? We want x next to the y. So we add x to both sides. So they cancel out. We have x plus 3y equals negative 1. And now we are finally done. We have x and y together, no fraction, no negative x. So which are the choices we have? The last one. X plus 3y is negative 1. Who is lost? Who is confused? Anybody? Nairobi? Okay, you try one. Let me get rid of this page. Do the same thing. This time it's not multiple choice, but the same requirement. No negative x, no fraction. Write the line in standard form. No. Remember, tomorrow you will PLTO, so you're not coming here, you're going to a different location. And bring all the questions from your homework. Just don't tell them it's from the homework. So that's why I said so you subtract x plus and the y. You pick the first was so you have y minus which is what? Your slope is your n plus 2. That's correct. But if you actually know, so we're moving forward from left, right. Now you have almost correct, but not the function is don't move to x, keep it to x, and you have like x and y then two together. So remember, x and y is minus negative 6. So subtract both sides. X can never go. So what you want x down, they want to be positive. Negative. Everything. You want to show
Negative 4. And I have a question.
So this is just so some people like common thing that a lot of people struggle with. So what you could do is so let's think of this as the number. This is your negative. So your negative for the negative to go. So what's our start? 0. 0. And we need to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have negative 2 over that on your double negative 2, so 3. So for example, let's say so not negative 2. Good. Right here. And now what is x minus 0? One sees 0 spaces. So it stays. So it stays. So another line will help you with the choice. Oh, starting this one. X line is easy 0. No, if I have a negative, I'm going to look to my left. If it is positive, I'll look to my right. Flip to the left. So give me 0. How much x? Now your x line give me 0. So how can you 0?
Thank you.
Yes, right. So remember you have to get to the stack your form, so you want your x and your so minus 2. Yeah, I distributed one year is 0 like this. And here x plus by x. Correct. The only problem is remember I said you want x negative. So that's not everything by negative 1. What? No, not that one. So right here it's negative 1 please correct. And then you have 2x. Okay. So now you have to bring x and y to the first one. We can actually simply simplify.
You minus 2x, right? You 2x.
So
And then take 2x. You can't have a negative x, or what you want to have.
How do two? It's supposed to be four.
No, that's what
And why intercept is
Minus.
This is what this
negative two.
And one gets rid of that.
Yeah, so negative two.
Not two. Two. We don't know.
This is correct. And now since you want x and y to be that, this is the point from the next.
Okay, so you can find the
Line keep us up. How do you work that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do them together. We have slope. Oh, I hate this. Come on. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Guess what? Let's say this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So 0 minus 4 over negative 2 minus 0. So this is minus 4. This is negative 2. Negative, negative cancel out. 2 goes to 4. 2. Then y minus y1 slope x minus x1. So y minus 4 slope is 2 x minus 0. Hamda says do this fast. So we can do this. We get y minus 4 equals 2 times x. But we don't even need the parentheses because it's simply 2x. Now you can actually complete this in one step. If you subtract 2x, then you have to do 2 steps. So instead of subtracting 2, if 2x is already positive, leave it. Move the y. X has to change. X doesn't want to change its position. So subtract y. We get negative 4 equals 2x minus y. And we can rewrite 2x minus y equals negative 4. If you have your x already positive, keep it. Move the y, not the x. It will do, you can solve it in one step. Any question? Now, before we go, there is one more scenario. And this will be in the exam, final exam. Find the equation of the line that goes through one point and that has a given slope. So they are giving us one point and they are giving us the slope. So we don't have to find the slope now. So basically we are going to do the exact same thing, but we are going to skip this step and start from this step. We have 1 point given and we have the slope given. So substitute everything and do whatever we just did for the last two questions. So y minus y1 slope x minus x1. They gave us the point is negative 4, 1. So this is x1, y1. X1, y1. So y minus what? 1. What is our slope? negative 7/2 x minus negative 4. That means we have double negative, it will turn into positive. So y minus 1 equals negative 7/2 x plus 4. What do you hate? We don't like it. We don't like the 2, so multiply by 2. So we get 2y minus 2. Denominator cancel out. And then negative 7 x plus 4. By the denominator. Because we don't like anything else, right? The only thing we hate is the denominator. Everything else is fine. So we get rid of whatever we don't like. And then what do we do? Distribute. 2y minus 2 is negative 7x. And what is negative 7 times 4? Negative 28. You're almost done. All we need now is x next to the y and numbers on the other side. So since our x is negative, we can bring x from right to the left. So 7x plus 2y minus 2 is minus 28. But what do we don't like here? The 2. So we add 2 and we get 7x plus 2y equals negative 26. Our goal is to have x and y together as positive. So we have x and y together. We don't want the x of third wheel. This is the third wheel. So x and y, if they want to annotate and they have a 2 third wheel, so they just keep it out and then put it in constant. So let me stop here. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, when you'll be back, you are going to do one example with this scenario, and then you're going to learn more. Okay? So do your homework 3.4 tonight and start doing 3.5. And go to PL tomorrow. Bring all the questions, your homework or from lecture notes, whatever you did not understand.